Hi there, my name is Peter Janis, and today I want to talk to you about the Reamp. This is a really cool box, and boy, I'll tell you, going right back to the beginning of recording, reamping has been around. It's been around a long time. This box has made it possible for everyone to take advantage of reamping. So let me explain the process so you know what it's all about, and then you can think about whether it will help you in your production, which I think it will. Reamping is a two-stage process. So it starts off with you need a DI box. Typically you might use an active DI box like a Radial J48 or maybe a passive DI box like the Pro DI. They both work quite well. I tend to prefer the active J48 for reamping because it's a buffered signal. So anyway, you plug your guitar into ye old DI box. From the throughput you go into your guitar amplifier. So there's your guitar into amp. While you are playing or recording, you take that clean sound and you record it. The guitar player, of course, is expecting to hear distortion. He's expecting to play through his guitar amp. So you put your guitar amp set up like you normally do. You put your SM57, your Audix i5, one of your really good mics for guitar amps, put it right there, and then record that track. Why you want to do that? That's your reference track. That's your reference performance track. Once you capture that on one of your tracks, you're set to go. The guitar player can listen back and say, whoa, that sounds kind of wanky. Well, don't worry about it, because that's the beauty about reamping, is that all you want to do is capture the performance. You don't care how it really sounds. All you want to do is capture the performance, because once you have that wet performance, send the guitar player to the beach. He has a girlfriend, he's got a six-pack of beer, he's going to be happy. What you want to do is capture that performance. He will hear the distorted track, he will understand his performance is okay. If there's a flub note, don't worry about it. You can go into your Pro Tools or whatever computer system you've got, adjust all that, because you've got a clean track to work with, not a distorted one. Because it's clean, it is super easy to edit. Now, from there what you do is you take this clean track and then you play it back through the reamp box, and from the reamper you go back into your guitar amp. You can add some pedals in here, do whatever you want to do. All of a sudden now, you can take the time, move the mics around, change amps, add amps, use a switcher, you can add effects, chorus, whatever you think you might want to do to your guitar signal. And the cool thing is that you can always go back and change it later. So as your recording progresses, you can adjust the mix to suit. This is what Steely Dan did years ago. This is why they'd have 5 guitar players on the same CD or on the same record back then, and they'd get consistency throughout the album because they'd be able to set the sound that they wanted and have the guitar players play with whatever they want, but ultimately they could produce it so it sounds consistent throughout the album. So it's fabulous. You get consistency. The benefit, of course, too, is when you reamp, the guitar player isn't going back and forth playing 500 times till you get the sound right. You don't care. All that time, all that pain that the guitar player has to go through, and finally he's so burnt out, you finally got the sound, and he doesn't even want to play anymore. He's lost his energy. So what you want to do is capture the energy beforehand. That's reamping. Now, the other really cool thing about reamping is it doesn't just work on guitars. You can take a voice track, you can take a vocal track, you can run it through a reamp. From the reamp, you can go into some guitar pedals. This way you can add a little bit of grit, you can have some fun, you can put wah-wah on a kick drum, you can put distortion on a bass guitar, you can take a violin, run a chorus through it. I mean, those are all the fun things you can do with reamping. And because today you have unlimited tracks due to the digital technology we've got, reamping, just do it as you please, you know, fix it, adjust it, move it, play with it. It is fantastic. Reamp is one of our brands here at Radial. We're just happy as punch to be able to present it to you. Now, what the reamp is itself, as far as feature set, is real simple. You have an XLR input, so you plug your cable in there from your recorder. From here, you've got a couple outputs. You've got one output that goes to the amplifier. You've got a level control. You've got a filter to kind of tame the sound a little bit if you've got a really bright amp. You've got a mute switch, so that if you're moving the amps, mics around, you've got a loud sound or whatever, and your cell phone goes off, you can just hit the mute switch, and that way it'll mute the sound going to the amp, so at least you can set things up. And inside, what makes this particularly cool, and of course a little bit more expensive, is the fact that it has a custom-made transformer. So this is the original John Cuniberti transformer that we have now put inside this box, kind of made it look like ours because it has to fit our mechanics and all that. And you know, it's now available worldwide. So there you go. You can reamp at home, have a lot of fun. You can do it in the studio, because tons of studios, from the Stones to who knows what. I mean, everyone reamps. Have fun reamping from Radial Engineering.